Hi there. This is an example of how to create a custom rule using the metric, the dead tuple count metric. If you look at some of the requirements you had sent us, alerting on the number of estimated dead tuples in the database was considered an important requirement. So we're going to go in here and explore the topology. So there's a spreadsheet that we sent that contains the data dictionary, describes what I'm looking at here. The number of dead tuples, that one, if I'm not mistaken, let me open that document here real quick. So if we open up the properties worksheet and let's do a search for that. There it is, n dead tuple. So that one's under PG table. So we'll head back into Foglight here. Let me close that. We know it's under table. And we know that property, there's a number of different attributes there, but we're just going to go ahead and just select that, put that into the rule scope, validate that. So what it's doing here is it's basically telling you that it can find that data that you're looking for. In other words, these are all of the values of the observations that Foglight has made for tables that are being monitored across all the databases and instances that I have here in our Foglight. So I'm going to leave that alone. I'll just go ahead and now click Next, and I'll begin working on the severity. So I want to basically create two severities here. I've been looking at the tuple count in our databases, and they range from like maybe several thousands to hundreds of thousands. So what I'm going to do in this particular case is, so to reference an observed value, you must surround it with the hash mark. So in this case, it is n dead tuple. I'll just verify that real quick. Yeah, n underscore dead underscore tup. So let's come back there. And what we're going to do is a simple operator here is to greater than. So that observation will be greater than, we'll get a critical if it's over 50,000. Okay, so I'll test the rule logic. Foglight seems to accept it. When you click that, it'll come back in green. If it's in red, it obviously has trouble accepting that expression. And I'm going to activate this severity, and then I'm also going to put in a description here saying is that dead So I put in a quick description here. What I will also do is enable the warning level threshold, so I'll do something similar. So I'll activate that, paste it. The warning will be if it's above 10,000. And then we'll go ahead and test that out. Let me just make sure that we have a description here. So as you can see, I have all of that in here. Sorry for the scrolling there, but this is where I can decide how the rule, how active the rule is. Is it just permanently active or always active, or do you have some effective schedules and blackouts that you want to implement? So just think of there being times where you don't want these alerts to be firing for maintenance reasons or some other warranted reason. You had also mentioned being able to evaluate the condition over several samples, so you can do that here. There's a notion for that. I'm going to skip over and just go ahead and move to this last page. Now, this one, if I had a specific, rather than putting it in the expression, right, 100,000 dead tuples or 10,000 dead tuples, I can put in a variable. I can create a variable called high dead tuples, low dead tuples, and put in what that figure is. So rather than having to reference it in code, I can just reference the variable. So in other words, the n underscore dead underscore tuple would be greater than whatever this variable that you're referencing. And then you would reference that the same way with the pound. But I'm going to go ahead and click save. So now we should see that that rule has been enabled here. It's been sorted under non-cartridge. And we're just going to give it a few moments here because Foglight does need to make a sample. And then once it makes a collection on that data, we will then be able to see some information here, whether or not the rule fired or not. So just bear with me. Okay, and it looks like we just got one alarm. Let's take a look. So dead tuple count has reached the critical level, contact level 2 support. So it looks like it's gone over that other threshold. Let's take a look here. You can click on the rule name and click on diagnostics. And what this does is it'll tell you when samples are made or collections are made by Foglight, whether or not your rule against the observation it's making is actually firing, is it hitting, is it missing. These are really important for you for your testing purposes. But you can clearly see here that there is a table. Well, there is one instance here where it actually, there are multiple instances where it actually hit. So keep that in mind. So what we'll do now is let's go ahead and sort of look at the user experience, right? So we're here in Postgres. You can see if I hover over, you can now see my customized rule. You can see the message that I've put in. We see the actual object, and then we can perform the normal Foglight-related function, whether it's to clear or to do the acknowledgement. Hopefully this helps you guys.